Other interesting political news, you have the UAW president wearing a shirt that says "Eat the Rich," but Shawn Fain is part of the top 5% of earners. The typical hypocrite, I mean, it's so unpalatable, the hypocrisy. You see this a lot with people in politics, especially on one side, can't help but see. Same thing with AOC, where she literally had the same thing where she wore a dress that said "Eat the Rich," where she makes way more money than anyone could possibly fathom for the little things that she actually does. Though it is a good example in terms of you don't have anyone can do anything in the United States in terms of I don't want to ever hear everyone say I can't do something, because a mentally vacuous, morally vacuous bartender became a highly paid government employee. Ridiculous to say that it actually happened. Now, it looks like in terms of making his income and breaking it down, this is thanks to an article on Fox. So interestingly enough, they may have one or two good writers over there still. That in and of itself might make news. Now, it looks like this is from the main article. Shawn Fain, who was elected UAW in March, has been the one leading the strike, and he has at least two significant streams of revenue. The filing showed he earns about $259 a year leading the UAW nonprofit training program, and another $160,130 the previous year from his previous role of being an administrative assistant to the union, which is one of the most union things I could possibly think of. And an administrative assistant makes $160K a year? Really? That's like a $20,000 job you get out of college. An administrative assistant, but it is the union, which some would compare to Chicago-based Italian organizational family groups, so to say. But I'm sure Chicago will be fixed next year, that's what I'm always told. Now, it looks like Shawn's UAW salary is likely to jump well past $200,000 per year as taking over president. And in terms of breaking down, Shawn Fain's annual salary of $347,389, placing him in the top 5% of earners in his home state of Indiana. This, according to a Forbes analysis, individuals their salary exceeds $192,928 per year are in the top 5%. Now, if Fain's new salary as president matches his predecessor, former UAW President Ray Curry, his union income increased to $267,126. And his overall salary, including what he earns from nonprofit UAW Chrysler Skill Development and Training Program, increased to $458,385, a salary that would put him in the top 1% of earners. Fascinating. Now, of course, they continue to say Shane has compared the automotive communities, automotive makers to Nazi Germany, which a political cliche in and of itself. How many times has that reference been beaten over the head? And, of course, he wears that T-shirt, "Eats the Rich," and even more hilariously ironic, accurate for politician that he is, standing right next to Bernie Sanders and getting support from communist Bernie Sanders. Ridiculous, to say the least. Now, I can't believe, and this is the union members all overwhelmingly they support him. They voted for him. They still support him. And they're making $500 per week to stand around with picket signs. That's the current allowance that the UAW is giving them from their slush fund for their strike fund. I wonder, do you think the opinion of the union members will change if they figure out how much Shawn Fain is really making per year? That's quite a pretty penny to create conflict as a glorified divorce attorney. And it'll be interesting to see. The UAW just might become bankrupt depending on how much they're forced to give with these negotiations with the contracts with the United Auto Workers. Let me know, does this change your perception of Shawn Fain, the president of the UAW, who, of course, with our Eat the Rich t-shirt, and yet he is wildly paid for what he does? It'll be interesting to see, but as I always say, time shall tell. Thank you, everyone, again for taking the time to tune in today. I appreciate your support. Trying to get to 4,000 subscribers by the end of October. So if you could click that button, I'd greatly appreciate it. Also, any comments are also appreciated because the feedback is how we grow, make the channel better and better together. Lastly, if you like the channel, it may or may not help with the algorithm. It's a mysterious thing. I'm Not quite sure. It seems like it changes on a weekly basis on which videos go viral, which ones get shared more. But at the end of the day, your support is also always appreciated. Also, lastly, don't forget to take time to tell your family, tell your friends, tell your coworkers, heck, tell your enemies, tell anyone and everyone. Just stay safe, fight the good fight.